What's up, guys? Welcome back to Revelation 11:27. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Mine just started. So did Lucas. Right? And we're excited. We're excited for our day. You know, I remember like when I was little, when I was younger, I would be so excited for my day that it would be so hard for me to fall asleep because I was so excited for my day. And now, as an adult, I'm so excited about my day. Because, you know, the day could bring so many beautiful opportunities. Literally, your whole life could change in a second, really. But the second happens in the day. So, I hope that you look forward to your day. You look forward to the days ahead. That's why it's so important to stay motivated, you know? Because if you don't, then you won't expect for miracles to happen. Miracles do exist, right? Miracles are in a certain frequency that you vibrate at. You're unconsciously being optimistic about everything, and that is what attracts everything. Dang, is it too early for all this wisdom and knowledge from above? No, it's never too early. Okay, Spirit, what do we need to know? What do we need to see? Let's see what the energy is. King of Fire, someone who's inspirational, who has that fire for life. What we're just speaking about, someone who is charismatic. Maybe your personality shows a lot when you speak to people. Maybe your personality shows a lot when just when you do your day-to-day things. You have that fire for life. You have that motivation to keep going no matter what. Even if issues and problems come into your life, you don't just sit back and allow... I was looking at Lucas. You don't just sit back and allow issues and problems to keep you sitting back. No, you take action with that fire. And we have the Tower here. Remember how we were speaking about the Tower is a transformation. It is things that we cannot control as human beings. They happen, and they are meant to happen for a reason. Right? Maybe something happened recently in your life that has or will change your surroundings. Because when towers happen, everything around you changes. Where you live, where you work, even the friendships around you may change. Who you were who you were hanging out with the most, you know, just things that you were comfortable with, they change. And that is what the Tower is here for, right? Sometimes the Tower could be, let's see how I put this. No, I think the Towers are always good, no matter what. Right? If you're someone that's been, on the bad side of the universe, on the bad side of God, the Tower is here to knock some sense into you, because you've obviously been avoiding to change, avoiding to do things differently, and maybe you continuously are doing things that may be harming other people, that may be harming yourself. Things that are not aligned with God's truth. And then that's when, the tower comes. Boom. And it will stop you. It will sit you back down. Like, many things can happen, right? Either you get caught up with the law, if you've been doing illegal things. Either you won't be able to move from your bed based on body aches or diseases or sicknesses. That's God's way. That's the universe's way of sitting you down. Because otherwise you will keep waking up each day thinking about ways to hurt people. That's how the tower can impact someone's life, right? Who could be malicious and evil and they are just not changing. Now, if you're not evil, if you're not malicious, like me, towers also happen, right? For example, you may think that you've been having genuine friendships, relationships with people. You may always be giving people your energy, your time, people that don't deserve it. And the tower can come in to separate you from those people. Even if you think it's a horrible thing at the moment, no. As long as you do the work, as long as you heal, you'll be able to see why that happened and how necessary it was. So that's how, the tower. So that's why I'm saying that the tower is always a good thing, because no matter what kind of person are you, it's here to change things up. You see those lightnings? And 10 of air, yeah. This tower, 10 of air. Those are endings. Look how the angel is there. It is a completion. You've completed a cycle. You've learned from the cycle. Now you're able to be free. Mentally. Air. Remember. Meaning that you will no longer have swords in your head, aka blockages, aka old thinking patterns that were hindering you from becoming you 2.0, right? And that is what it's telling me here. You recently had a change in your life, King of Fire, whoever you are, right? Or you could be a feminine too, more on their masculine side, and that's why you could become up like this. But either way, if you're a woman, if you're a man, something has made you realize, something has happened in your life recently that has made you realize what needed to change, right? It was a life-changing event, whatever it was. It's so obvious that you can't hide that. And that has allowed for this ending to come in. For you to be mentally free, for you to be able to recover from whatever it is that maybe you were experiencing the last months, the last few years. And even if you can't see it right now, that tower had to happen in your life for you to be able to enter a new stage in your life. A new stage in your life where you will be more at peace. Where you'll be able to live more authentically you. And the reason I say that is because before the tower, you weren't fully your true authentic self, because you were doing things that caused this tower to come off, that caused this event in your life to happen. And that event was to make you realize things. So, that is amazing. That is beautiful. I love change. That's crazy for me to say, right? No, not that crazy. Especially after change is what has made me the man that I am today. Someone who is able to control all of the elements, the fire, the air, the earth, the water. And I say control in a personal level, right? I'm able to control my elements. And you can too, if you do the work. Okay, let me stop talking so much. Let's go a little bit more in depth in this energy. Spirit, what do we need to know? What do we need to see? Oh, okay, let's take it. Yeah. Look, the Three of Swords, which is usually a heartbreak, painful card, came out in reverse, meaning that you're releasing pain, meaning that you're more optimistic about life. That is amazing. Come on, change. Come on, growth. And you're the King of Wands. Guys, I cannot be making this up. The King of Wands is the King of Fire. How more exact can this get? Yeah, this change that recently happened in your life, whatever it was, gave you some clarity. Right now you're able to release pain. You're able to be more optimistic about the things, the beautiful things that God and the universe have in store for you. And look, yeah, you know what you got away from? You know why it is that you're releasing the pain? Because you figured out about a female energy in your life who is controlling, who is malicious, who was just there trying to steal your pentacles, who was there trying to control you, who was just there trying to manipulate you with her emotions, with her feelings. You being able to see that has allowed you to see that person for truly who they are. And that has allowed you to not feel guilty for moving on. Especially after you found out the kind of individual, kind of sneaky individual you had around you. You don't feel bad, you don't feel guilty, and that is amazing. Maybe that's why that tower or whatever event happened that made you see this person for truly who they are. That's what allowed you to no longer feel guilty, to release whatever pain you may have had in your heart, in your body, in your mind. And now that, by you releasing that pain, it opens up space in your aura, in your body, for you to be more excited about life. Because come on, you are the King of Fire. We have it here twice. You're someone who is usually very enthusiastic about life, who's an entrepreneur, right? You've always had a vision, and you make those visions come to life by taking action. And maybe your action taking was not as good as it could be, right? In the recent past. I mean, come on, how could you fully be in your power when you're surrounded by someone? Look how the guy's just holding there, by someone who is trying to control every move that you make, by someone who was trying to control who you had friendships with, by someone who was trying to control your own free will. But you've released that, right? That is amazing. When you become free from people, places, and things that were not only not good for you, but that were just there, bugging, because they're codependent on you. They needed you. They needed your energy to survive, because without that, they are nothing. And that's okay, right? But what is not okay is for you to be causing pain to others, gossiping about others, when there's a lot of work that you must do, right? Eternal love. Not only has that given you so much mental freedom, because when you release things that are not good for you, it opens doors for things that are good for you. But also, this has maybe you seeing this controlling individual that you had around for truly who they are. Now you're able to see them clearly, and that is amazing. Now that has opened up space in your body and your heart for eternal love, right? For true, genuine, authentic friendships and relationships that will last an eternity, right? That is amazing. That is beautiful. And that is your blessing, right? And that is something you've always wanted, to have someone next to you that would always be there for you through the hard times, through the good times. And you got good news coming your way. Miracles can happen. Remember I said that in the beginning of the video. Maybe even a surprise. And you deserve it. You know why you deserve it? Because you allowed for this transformation to come in. You allowed for God, you allowed for the universe to bring that tower down, and for you to be able to see what the issue really was, what the problem really was. And you deserve whatever good news you're receiving. This is probably you daydreaming, now that you know this, thinking about what the good news are, right? Maybe thinking about someone who you feel some type of love for, someone who maybe you would like to get to know. And that is amazing, right? Because you've stepped into your power. Now you are able to speak. Ooh, why did my voice just break? Because it was passion, right? That's how people can control your throat chakra. And then you're like, why can't I say what I feel? Because these controlling individuals, when they're around you, they do that. They try to install fear in you. They try to install doubts in you, so you're unable to speak your mind. And when you don't speak your mind, that is when you start harboring in feelings and emotions, because you're unable to release them by speaking with the voice and mouth and tongue that God gifted us all with. But look, whatever happened recently, whatever event, whatever you found out, has allowed you to gain clarity. And it is what you do with that clarity moving forward that will really shape the rest of your life. They thought no one was watching, but God was. They will pay for everything. Trust me. So whatever this sneaky Queen of Cups, right, along with her little minions, whatever deceptive behavior, whatever they were doing, is seen, is noticed by the community, by people that are not even in the community, because these things were, come on. So you have nothing to worry about. You don't even have to defend your character no more. They thought they were being sneaky. They thought they were amazing hackers and amazing spiritualists and amazing people that would never get caught, because they thought they were bigger than God. And that's what happens when you think you're bigger than a force that you've never even felt in your life, like God. Look, fire at the bottom of the deck. Come on. No one can no longer put off your fire, because you're aware of your fire and you use your fire when you need to use your fire, right? And the reason you're able to use your fire when you need to use your fire now is because you're in control of your fire. Your family is behind it. Karmic father, mother, aunt, uncle, cousins, brother, sister. So maybe whatever event that you just went through, someone in your family or multiple people in your family had a part to play in it. And noticing that, seeing that, has made you want something different. Maybe you want to travel out of the state. Maybe you want to travel out of the country. Maybe you want to travel out of your city. Maybe you just want to get away from your current environment. And you have the right to do that. Because that is you wanting something different. Something that will allow you to get more excited. Come on, with the fire. About your life. And sometimes that comes in forms of moving. Comes in forms of doing hard but necessary things, like ending relationships that you know are toxic for you, like getting a divorce when you know you no longer are connected to that person. And we have to understand that these things are not sin, but situations that God has presented us to see if we're going to choose right so we could grow. Because what happens when you stay in those situations? Your fire becomes dimmed, and it's just smoke and then ash, and you have no fire left. And for the rest of your life, it'll just be a wandering soul. No, that is why God allowed for whatever event happened in your life recently to come through. Yeah, to come through for your new love. Forever thing, right? And everything was divinely guided to happen this way. You know why? Because you're a high vibrational spiritual being. You are you're one of God's chosen ones. Right? And God chose you because He knew that you were eventually going to be able to align with His purpose in this world for you. That is beautiful. But look how beautiful things just show up after we see situations and we see situations and we allow for for us to learn from those situations. And we allow for us to grow through those situations. That's what happens. Amazing things happen. Right? Because on the other side, you could have just avoided seeing clearly. You could have just been like, no, it's okay, I didn't see that. Or it's okay, this person is not really this. Person is not harmful. No, that is how you go back to a karmic cycle. Thank God that you've seen it. All right, peace.